Hello, my friendos and my friendas. Welcome to this mini course on the principles of agile management. So here we are going to discuss how to build effective knowledge work systems. And this course will be divided in two parts. On part one, we are going to talk about why building software as a human activity is hard. Right? And then on part two, we are going to discuss what we do about that. Right? So given that there are these and these and these challenges, how do we behave? How do we organize ourselves, right, to overcome those challenges, right? Okay, so this, and why is that important, right? So if you work with software development in any kind of software creation environment, then you must have lived through some or many of those kinds of problems, right? Team swamped in urgent demands with no time to invest in quality, people firefighting all the time, doing what's urgent and postponing what's important, things that take too long to be done, people getting interrupted all the time, things that lose value with time, right? You deliver something and then you got a response, oh, thanks, but I don't need that anymore, right? I find a way around that. Or features that are not used, people getting excessively specialized and then they get isolated and you lose that kind of collaborative team spirit, or maybe turnover, people asking to leave or maybe people lacking the commitment and motivation to do the work. Conflicts sparking all the time between developers, between manager and clients, and code with low quality being created. And when you start to analyze those kind of situations and you try to look at the bottom of things many times, you see that there are management practices or management style that could be improved to start to make those kinds of things better. And if you work in an environment that makes software and you never seen this, then you are either probably very young or very lucky, because it's kind of normal problems to have, right? Anyway, so this is why management deserves attention. Okay, so this is kind of this disclaimer here. Most of what I'll talk about here comes from this course. It's called Software Zen. It's like a management course. So here in Brazil, it's in Portuguese, by this guy, Alisson Vale. He's a genius. I made his course I went through his course in 2015, changed my life. And this is really just like a short summary of what I learned then and try to apply in my daily work since. So you even see some pieces of information here that are in Portuguese, but don't worry, because I will translate. It comes from his content. All right, so people who study management, like academically, they arrive this kind of conclusion about how important management can be, right? So here are some conclusions by those kinds of authors. Okay, so this says at least 64% of the main kinds of problems that we found in the area of software can be classified as problems of management. And here's some other dude, Barry Boehm. Bad management can increase the costs of developing software more than any other factor, right? So if you want to make software development particularly expensive, then the best thing you can do is to apply bad management on top of it. This is something else, the relative impact of 4 categories of costs according to Boehm. So you can reduce costs by 3% by improving tools, 11% by maybe training people, I don't know. some kind of study that points to management improvements being the thing that gives you the biggest lever on improving costs. Okay, why should I care? Even if I'm not a manager, why should I care about management? So Allison says that management is the art of organizing the necessary effort to make an initiative grow and thrive. And if you are part of an initiative, then you are a part of it, right? It's not just a role responsibility for a manager. Management is a skill that everyone needs to have to some degree. And I think this is interesting how it agrees with what this other guy, which is another person who sells courses on management. His name is Jurgen Appelo. He is the author of a book called Management 3.0. I think it's more than a book now. It's like a movement, right? This guy goes around the world doing workshops on management. And it's funny because this guy is about optimizing effectiveness. And this guy is about optimizing happiness, right? And it is the case that you can improve work systems by optimizing those two things, right? And I guess the good news is you don't need to pick who is right because those things are not competing with each other. Right? But anyway, this guy here has this blog post where he says something similar, right? Management is so important to live to managers. I firmly believe that, like keeping the noise down, the files organized, the meeting room tidy, the customers happy. So those things are everyone's job. So is management, right? We at one time and another we all fit the description of a manager. He goes on to say that many of the people who attend his workshops are not managers, right? Like 80% are developers, coaches, right? And he also finishes the article with a conclusion that I think also agrees with some other thing that Allison says all the time, which is, I firmly believe we can only improve worker happiness when everyone feels responsible for management and learns to manage the system instead of managing each other, right? And this is something that Allison also talks about a lot, which is, okay, we should be more focused on seeing the work system with the eyes of a systems thinker and try to manage the system and the interactions between the elements in the system, then trying to manage the people directly and try to influence the behavior of individual persons, right? So I think that's curious that they agree on those two things. Anyway, this is the motivation behind this course, and in the next video we'll start to look at why it's hard to build software as a human activity. So stay tuned. Thanks for watching, and I'll be back. Bye.